We're live.
Yes, we are. Hi, everyone. How are you all today? So, I want to have a business chat with my coach. This is Coach Caroline. And for those of you all who don't know me, my name is Jael. I am a mother of four. I am a wife and a registered nurse, and I am a proud digital business owner. So,
That's
without any
right.
more, I will let Caroline introduce herself.
All right. First of all, it's a joy to be here, Dale. I have looked forward to this. Hi, guys. My name is Caroline, and just like JL, I'm a registered nurse as well, and a digital business coach. I'm a wife, a mother of three girls, three beautiful girls, ages 5, 3, and 1. And I am so happy to be here, on this business chat. One of my favorite things to talk about with our very own Jael right here, who is an incredible digital business owner and mentor. So thank you for having me, Jael.
I'm glad that you're here as well. So I just want to ask you some questions. So everybody in this page have talked about increasing their income, right? Why did you start this digital business? Why should people start this digital business or your personal experience?
Okay. So, first of all, I always like to tell people like my journey or my story on how I started my digital business is long. So bear with me. I've still not figured out a way to like summarize, my journey, and I feel like that's okay, right? Because I mean, different parts of our journey, they are responsible for, you know different parts of my journey. Those different parts are responsible for where I am today, like in the business. God used like all those different aspects or those different parts of my journey to bring me to this incredibly beautiful place as a digital business coach. So I started my business. We officially launched around May of last year. And before launching, I was just coming right out of maternity leave, and I had just had my third daughter. So the circumstances surrounding her birth, it kind of pushed us into a place where we were forced to recognize the need to have a plan B or to have a side hustle. Now, like I said, I'm a registered nurse. My husband is an IT engineer. So if you're thinking in terms of, oh, well, they were probably making good money. Yes, we were. But then also we are immigrants. And you know how they say the typical immigrant, your responsibility goes above and beyond your immediate nuclear family, right? So you better be ready to also extend a helping hand to family back home, to even neighbors. Sometimes you get messages from neighbors like, hey, like, this is happening, can you help? To friends and loved ones, because you know how they say it takes a village to raise a child, right? That's very true for a lot of immigrants. And so if that village is helping to raise you, better believe that when you have like that stable career and everything, that village will also be looking at you.
Right.
So that was my reality, and that was my husband's reality as well. So even though we both had comfortable jobs and all of that, a lot of times there were a lot of months where we found that, okay, financially, I either needed to work extra. My husband was working full time and also going to school full time. I then needed to pick up all the extra shift that was offered at the hospital, or I needed to get a second nursing job, which is what I did. Like for most of my nursing career, I worked, two nursing jobs. So, but now things got really interesting when I got pregnant with my third baby, because I was working, on a COVID unit of all units. My pregnant self was working on a COVID unit. And you know how they say pregnant women are high risk when it comes to COVID, right? So, and then my co-workers started getting it one after the other. So there was just, and I remember like every time I'll be driving to work, just feeling so anxious, thinking the entire time, what if I get this thing? Not only am I pregnant, I have two other little kids at home. My dad also lives with us. My dad is 73. So, and that makes him also high risk. in terms of like, the different categories of high risk people with the high risk population for COVID. He was in that population, a high risk population as well. So I will go to work just concerned, like, what if I get this thing? What if I get this? And lo and behold, I got it. And it was really bad. I was literally fighting for my life. I ended up in the ICU. They had to do an emergency C-section to get my daughter out, and she was in the NICU for 8 weeks. 8 weeks thereabout. And by the time we got home and she was home and everything, guess what? It was time for me to go back to work, because here in the US, maternity leave is just 12 weeks, right? Unfortunately, I don't know who came up with that law or who thought that was. I don't even want to get into that, but you know the struggle, Jael. You know the struggle. So it was time for me to go back to work, and I was not ready, not physically, and definitely not mentally, because all of that, like, I had really bad postpartum depression. And so, like, just even the thought of going back to work was enough to just send me into a really bad mood and bad state and everything. And I remember those first few weeks when I went back to work, I'll be driving to work literally in tears. Like, this is not it. This is not that American dream that we were talking about. And then not only did I go back to work, I had to get a second nursing job. Because again, mind you, this is not only about this wasn't just about, maybe working to get our account back to a healthy place. This was also about working to pay the hospital bills that we knew were going to start coming. I know we're not just talking about regular, postpartum or regular, labor unit bills and all of that. No, like, we're talking about ICU. We're talking about, an emergency C-section that was had. We're talking about NICU bills as well. So we knew that we were going to have heavy bills, hefty bills coming. And so I went back to work with my main nursing job, and then I also started a second nursing job with 3 children. One of those children, a brand newborn. So I remember just telling my husband, I was like, I can never go through something like this again. This is not healthy. This is not, like, nobody should be going through a situation like this. If you feel like you need a break, you need to be able to take that break, right? Especially for your mental health and all of that. But I didn't have that option because we had just our main, income from our jobs to rely on. And with the amount of time that I'd been sick for, the amount of time that my daughter was at the hospital and all of that, my husband had to take time off work, an extended time off work, to take care of our other 2 children. So we had to have that conversation. Now, it wasn't just like a casual conversation of, we probably should look for a business. We probably should look for a side hustle. We probably should look for a plan B. This time around, the conversation that we're having was, we need a plan B now. Like, we need I kept repeatedly telling him, I'm like, I can never go through something like this again. We absolutely need a plan B, and we need it now. So I was just scrolling on Facebook just randomly that day, and I saw a post by my now business coach. And all she said in the post was, if you're a mom, you're on maternity leave, you're looking for a plan B, I have something that could be of interest to you. I was like, she's talking to me. I'm like, how does this girl know my story so well enough to be talking to me? And then, mind you, another thing too was, she and I were friends on Facebook, but we didn't know each other outside of Facebook. So when I saw that post, even though it spoke to me and it spoke to my situation directly, I was very skeptical. I'm going to be honest. I was so skeptical. I was like, probably one of those things. What if it's a scam? I don't even know her like that. What if it's one of these elaborate internet scams? But that day, I thank God that the more reasonable and logical part of my brain won the conversation, because it's like, girl, you need a plan B. You need, at least check it out, if it is something that you realize it's not for you, then you can back out, right? You don't have to do it. So I DM'd her and she sent me the webinar to watch. The webinar is just 90 minutes long. I've had some people be like, oh, it's too long. I'm like, well, then you probably don't want to do a business, because if you are trying to get information about something as important as a business that you think may be for you, then 90 minutes is not a long time to sit down and watch a video. And then the fact that it's a video too, that means you can multitask. You can be doing other things while letting it play in the background, right? So I always tell people, if you honestly think 90 minutes is too long a time for you to sit down and get more information about what could potentially be a life-changing opportunity for you, then you're probably just not ready, you know. So anyways, I watched the webinar and then I felt like I still needed more information, so I reached back out to her and she told me about, pre-registering, which I did. And the good thing that I loved about the pre-registering was the fact that you get the opportunity to get a full refund of your pre-registration if you, after going through all of the information, you decide it's not for you. So I was like, you know what? There's zero risk in getting more information. Like, there is absolutely zero risk in getting more information. If I go through the information and you're giving up to 30 days, so it's like nobody's rushing you. You take your time, you go through the information, and then you make that informed decision on whether or not it's for you. So that's exactly what I did. And when I went through the information, let me tell you, I went through those videos 2 times and I just could not believe what I was watching. I was like, how long has this thing been in existence? But this is exactly what, because at that point, we had a checklist. Because the truth is, on the online space, there's the good, the bad, the ugly, right? So you have lots of scams out there as well. So in order not to be victims of anything that is not legitimate, we had a checklist, things that whatever business that we were willing to look into, it had to meet, the points that we had on that checklist. And it's literally like everything, we were checking off everything and even more, right? So I went over it 2 times because I needed to make sure, like, this, am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? Are they really saying that you can do this thing from home? Are they really saying that you don't have to worry about inventory? Are they really saying that, like, there's this, the potential profit margin is this high? Are they really saying that these are the products that they have on there? Like, it sounded incredible to me. And then, as if that was not enough, after I pre-registered, I was added to a private digital business Facebook group. And at that time, there were like 90 something thousand people on there. Have you ever felt left out? Because that's exactly how I felt. I felt so left out.
I felt the same way too.
Right?
Like, all these things going on and I don't know about them.
I'm like, how did all these people know about this thing and I did not? Like, where I thought, I'm like, I know I've not been living under a rock. Like, how did 90 something thousand people? And then, as if that was not enough shock for me, I started seeing people on there that I know. I saw like my childhood friend on there, and I immediately ran to her DM. I was like, Carrie, like, how is it that you found out about something like this and you didn't tell me? Like, what? And she said, well, you know what? It's actually not that kind of business. It's not the kind of business where you have to start bugging friends and family, And when I went through the training and I really had a firm grasp on the business model, what she said made so much sense, because it's really not the kind of business where you have to start running after people. We teach you how to do, and the training shows you step by step how to effectively position yourself in the digital space in such a way that those that are looking for what you're offering, they come to you. So not you like running after people and all of that. So that's how I started. And it took me about 2 weeks from, when I fully like registered, I got my official like business ID and everything. It took me about 2 weeks to fully launch, my business on Facebook. And that was May of last year. And it has been an incredible journey. Like, within just about 5 months of running my business, launching and running my business, I was able to quit my main nursing job. And I remember like just shaking that day because, mind you, again, this is somebody who, for most of my nursing career, right, I worked two jobs. So to quit my main nursing job was a big deal. So I had the other one that I switched from full time now to just, you know, part time, and then eventually PRN, to eventually just quitting that one as well. Because on a monthly basis, what I was making from my business was more than what I was making from the two nursing jobs and even my husband's job combined.
Wow.
So one day my husband was like, what is the point of calling something a side hustle that is bringing in more than our main hustles combined? And it was really a side hustle at that point because we were running it part time, right? So he was like, I mean, like, we need to really consider about having you run this thing full
Right.
time, you know.
Right.
And I was so excited about that idea because that's what I'd wanted to do for the longest time, you know, just be able to do something while being more available to be there and take care of my really young children. So that's what I did. I eventually quit both nursing jobs. It's been months and months. I can't even remember the last time I worked as a nurse. It's been that long. But I still have my registered nurse license active. And that's why I say I did not retire from nursing because I love the profession. But the way I was working, it was kind of like choking that love that I had, or that passion that I had for the profession, because it was at some point now it was more just going with the motions, right? You go to work, you do what you have to do, and then you come back tired all the time, you know, and all of that. So that was starting to affect my love and my passion for the career. But I think eventually someday I will probably return to nursing, maybe on a part-time basis, and I'll probably do more of like teaching and stuff like that. Not really. I'm done with bedside nursing. I paid my dues for bedside nursing already. I am not. I'm done with bedside nursing. Done and dusted. Never to go back to bedside nursing. Never ever. So yeah, that has been like my long journey. How I started. Remember, I warned you. I told you this is not a story I can summarize. But yeah.
Okay, nice. So a lot of people is one like in my inbox. A lot of people,
Mhm.
is this legit? Is this true? Like, what makes this business legit? What makes it, you know?
I love that. So I love that question because, to me, one thing that tells me about that question is the person, number one, is interested, and then number two, the person is aware that on the online space, even with traditional business models, you have scams as well, right? So they're just trying to do their due diligence to make sure that they don't end up in something that is a scam, right? So one of the key things about our business when you're getting ready to start, one of the forms, and I'm sure you remember filling out that form, it's called a W-9 form, and that's a business tax form. There is absolutely no way that a business that is a scam will ask you to fill out a business tax form. Like, for what purpose, right? So that was one of the key things for me that I was like, okay, you know, at least that lets me know that this is legitimate. And since we have been running the business for over a year, this year we actually filed our business taxes, and we paid back 5,000 something dollars. So that's what that's one of the key things that lets you know that it is indeed a legitimate business, because you get back, you fill out that business tax form, you get back a form, you know, from the business to file your business taxes and all of that. And then again, one of the ways that you can actually spot a scam too is a lot of them have not been in existence for long, right? Like, a lot of them have been in existence maybe for, you know, less than 5 years, you know, and all of that. Not to say you don't have legitimate businesses that have been in existence for less than 5 years, but I'm just saying that when I am interested in a business and then I'm asking questions and they tell me, oh, this has been in existence for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, one of the things that's at the back of my mind is they can disappear. they can just disappear, right? They don't have enough footprints in the sand for me to be confident enough that, okay, no, like I can trust this person, this business with my reputation. Because when you're involved in a business, your reputation is also connected to it, right? And to me, that was a big deal because I'm like, okay, I am not just Caroline, I'm a registered nurse too, right? So I can't be involved in something that is illegitimate because I worked too hard for my nursing license. I worked way, way too hard for it, right? So that was a really, 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 really big deal for me. And when I found out that the business has been in existence for almost 50 years, like 50 as in 50, to me that spoke a lot about, they've stood the test of time, right? Their longevity in itself, that speaks volumes. And I could trust that. I could trust that reputation that they have as one of the best, in the game, and all of that. So those were some of the things to me that helped me understand that, okay, no, this is a legitimate opportunity. And plus, you see a lot of people that are doing the business, they put themselves out there, put their families out there. Like even my ad, I think the ad that you saw, I was in that ad with my daughter. I have an ad running with my daughter. I have one running with my husband. If you go on my business page, you see my children all over my business page. You think they probably are the ones that own the business, the business page. My children, my business is actually named Kisheri Digital, is named after my third child. Kisheri is her middle name because, again, it's circumstances surrounding her birth that forced us to a place where we recognize the importance of starting a plan B, a side hustle. So we named it after her. So yeah, it's 150% legitimate business. And again, like I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, if it's a scam, then this must be one of the most elaborate scams. Because in our business community, like there's over 120 something thousand people on there from all over the world, right? So it is a legitimate business. You get to file your business taxes. You get to fill out a business tax form. It's a business in your name. You can even incorporate it. You can do an LLC. You can do all of that because it's a business that is in your name. Your children will one day inherit it. Yeah. So that's what I have to say about that.
What benefits have you encountered from starting this business? I know
Say
you.
that again.
I know you receive a lot of benefits from starting this business. What
Yeah.
benefits have you encountered?
Oh, one of my favorite topics. One of the things my husband will tell you is, like, I no longer just walk to the mailbox, I catwalk to the mailbox. Before I started this business, I was hardly ever checking the mailbox. Like, because again, my dad lives with us. So my dad would mainly be the one to check the mailbox, or like my husband. But these days, you can best believe that on a single day, there's at least 3 people checking the mailbox. Because there's always good news in there waiting for us, right? Like it's not just about the bills anymore. And come to think of it, something that just started as a side hustle. I remember my first few checks that I got. I was screaming in this house, and my dad was even scared like something bad had happened. She's like, what? What is it? What's going on? I'm like, no, no, no. This one is good. This is good news. This is good stuff. So the financial benefits, I can't even, I don't know what words to use to explain how amazing of a blessing that has been. The fact that on a monthly basis, we're talking about 5 figures, like major 5 figures, right? On a monthly basis, we're talking about major 5 figures. And then besides even just the financial benefits of it, just the personal development. And personal development is something that you can't even put a price tag on personal development. And I remember having a conversation with a friend, and she and I had not talked for a while. And while we had this conversation, she was like, what happened to you? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you sound different. You talk different. Like, there's just something different about you. What happened? I was like, ooh. Okay, I guess it's, the difference is sure, because you grow, and I think I told you at some point, Jail, like, personally, I am not an extrovert. Right, I tell a lot of people that, and they're like, "Oh,
Didn't
I,
believe it.
I can't believe it." I am not. Like, I am an introvert. I love my personal space, my personal time. I don't want to be out there like that, right? But the business has helped me develop some of those character traits and some of those skills and those attributes that are not natural to me, that don't come natural to me, right? So I can go live on Facebook, I can, share about my business, post about my business boldly. Like in Cameroon, we say you do it with your full chest, because I am confident about what we're offering people, right? So there is something that level of confidence does to you. Confidence in your business, confidence in the package that you're offering, and then confidence in what you're building. Because this is beyond, just a money making venture. This is a legacy that we're building for our children, right? So I was telling somebody as well, I was like, this to me is more important than any job, because when I'm no longer here, this is a legacy that my children get to inherit. You see what I mean? So I'm like, I understand the importance of having a career, having a job that you go to and that you're committed to and that you're growing. Good and fine. But while you're doing all of that, there is so much wisdom in building something on the side concurrently. There is so much wisdom in that, because it goes beyond financial benefits. This is also about building a legacy for our children. And again, like, the product list that we have is also incredible, like the benefits, and all that. So it's a win 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 situation. And then, of course, I get the opportunity to meet beautiful, amazing ladies like JL here. So, I mean, what is not to love, right? Like, if I start talking about the benefits, I can't even stop, because it's a lot. Yeah.
Right. So why should anyone start an online business?
Because everyone needs a plan B. There's something my dad says. It's so funny how he describes it. He's like, because my dad is retired. He's a retired administrator, and he said to him, like, one of the things that he really regrets not doing as he was growing and flying, in his career. One of the things that he absolutely regrets is he did not build a business concurrently. Nobody's saying you should abandon your career or you should quit your career. Well, maybe if you really hate it and you've built a business and it's doing so well, you can leave the career alone. But if you have a career that you love and you're growing your career, start building a business. I tell people, don't even project to 1 year later, project to 5 years later. Like you, for example, Jay, imagine where your business will be 5 years from now, right? Because what you're doing now, these are seeds that you're sowing. You know how the Bible says there is always, in the book of Ecclesiastes, there is a season to plant and there's a season to harvest, right? So a lot of the people that we admire in life today, these are people that did their due diligence during planting season. They planted, they didn't eat all of their seeds, they planted. And then when harvest season comes, they're harvesting. So one of the key things that, as a human being, as an individual, as a career person, as a mom, as a wife, as a husband, build a business, plant the seed of a business investment. That way, when you're in that season in your life that you can no longer work, I'm not saying you prefer not to work, because there's going to be seasons in your life when circumstances will demand that you no longer work. Either your job will say, we don't want to see you here anymore, unfortunately, or maybe it could be a health situation. Nobody's praying for that, but these things happen, right? A health situation, especially if you have children too. There could be seasons when you need to stay home and you take care of maybe a sick child, or you focus more on helping your children, through their formative stages and all of that. Life is going to bring those seasons your way. When those seasons come, are you going to have options? Is the question. No matter how well paid you are at your job, you're going to have those seasons, right? And starting a business, having a plan B, what you're doing is you're sowing seeds that will grow into effective options for you when those seasons come. Like, during this COVID season, there's been multiple times when I'll just wake up in the morning. I'm trying to get the kids ready for school, and the school just sends a text message. Oh, parents, sorry, the school is closed and it's going to be closed for the entire week because three children or three or four teachers tested positive for COVID. Imagine if those times I had to worry about, oh, I have to call my boss. What am I going to say? What am I, those are some of the times or some of the days when I have really appreciated my business all the more. I have really appreciated because that started as a plan B for us and now has become a solid source of income for us. And we could have continued with it as a plan B if we wanted. It's just in this season of our lives, we recognize the fact that, okay, our children need more of our time, our children need more of our attention. You want to inculcate those values in them that you want to see manifest when they grow up. You don't want to spend most of your time working and then at the end of the day your children grow up and they are exhibiting certain tendencies and you're wondering, like, where did you learn that? Because most of their time they were actually spending it, the teachers are the ones that raised them, or they were raised by daycare, or they were raised by an after school program. Not that all of those things are bad, but we're just saying as a parent you want to be more present. And if you're focusing on work all the time, there's no way that you can do both work, be very present at work, and then be very present at home as well. It unfortunately just doesn't work that way. So that's why everybody, I always say this, even if it's not this business, our business is incredible, especially if you're already a busy person and then you have a career. You can easily do it concurrently with your career, with your job, with whatever it is. Even if you have a traditional business and you're looking for another business opportunity, this will be ideal for you. So in as much as our business is awesome, I always tell people not every business model is for everybody, right? But the message we're trying to pass across here is start a business. There is so much wisdom in having a plan B. There's so much wisdom in having multiple streams of income. And again, another big amazing thing about our business opportunity is just within it, there's 5 different streams of income. There's 5 different streams of income. You start by unlocking, the first 3, the first 2, and then you can unlock the rest of the streams of income as you grow in your business. It's incredible. A lot of people, when they hear about multiple streams of income, they think, oh, you have to have multiple jobs, or you have to, start a business here, start another business here. How about under the same business umbrella, you have multiple streams of income? It's mind-blowing to me, So that is why, those are some of the reasons why anybody that is listening to us, anybody that is a follower on Jael's page, you need to consider starting, a side hustle. Even if you have the best job ever, I don't care if at your job they call you president of presidents, as long as you're not the owner. You're not the owner of that company you're working for, your name is not on the title deed, then you need to be building your own thing on the side to give you those options. Options are very good. Options are good. Yeah. So that's what I'll say. And then plus the startup cost as compared to, the typical traditional business and all of that, the startup capital is lower, is way lower. Yeah. The startup capital, the capital to kick the business off the ground and then maintain and continue growing, it's way. I mean, I looked into starting an African store a couple of years ago, and it was coming to about 20 something thousand dollars. I was like, I do not have no 20 something thousand dollars to start no business. And then plus again, with an African store, which is a typical traditional business, you have to start thinking about, oh, I need to rent space, right? You need to hire, somebody, or even at least 2 people, one to work at the front, to serve customers, and then the other one at the back to load and offload. And then with me working as a registered nurse, I was like, Number one, I do not have the capital. Number two, I don't think I'm going to have the time to grow something like that. And then plus the profit margin for, a typical traditional business like that is not that high. It's not that high. So I was just like, no. So when I found out about this opportunity and I saw what the potential profit margin was, and then I saw that the startup cost was not that crazy, I was like, the best of both worlds, I'm just going to do this. So yeah, absolutely. Like if you're watching us and you're looking for an opportunity, something that you can build from the comfort of your home, don't even look any further. This is it. This is it. And then plus you get that money back guarantee. If you re-register and you get all of the information and you decide it's not for you, you can get back your refund really quick, 24 to 48 hours. Yeah.
Okay, the last question.
Okay.
What makes this business model the best business model you have ever seen?
Oh my goodness, Dale. The fact that I actually posted this, I don't think I can even like really show it on this phone. I actually posted this morning because I woke up in the morning. Part of my morning routine, like, of course, after I get like going for the day, I check my emails, right? And I saw this email from this person and they were like, "Hi, Caroline." They actually called me Carolina, but that's okay too. They said, "Hi, Carolina. I am really looking for a digital business to start. I want to start this business that you're doing. Like, how can I get started?" I don't know this person from nowhere, right? So this is essentially how our business model works. We train you, or our training. We have an amazing package, comprehensive training. Customized web page, sales funnel included, product list included, one-on-one business mentorship and coaching included therein. And so with our training, what it shows you step by step how to do is to position yourself and position your business on the digital space in such a way that those that are looking for what you're offering, they find you. So in Nigeria, in West Africa, let me say, we say not them, they rush us. Like they're the ones that are rushing and coming and be like, "Hey, I want to do that thing that you're doing. I want to start this business." Who doesn't want to do business like that? I don't want to do a business where I have to start bugging family and friends on my, calling family and friends, asking, begging people to come join me or to come check it. I don't want to do business like that. No. Number one, I don't have the time. And number two, those are some very awkward conversations to have. So, and then number three, when you start doing business like that, when you reach out to somebody and you're talking to them, the first thing that they think at the back of their mind is, "I probably will have to do this too when I start doing," and the average person doesn't want to do that. So that's the beauty of our business model. Number one, it has everything in it that the typical person needs to be able to get their business off the ground and grow it. Before I started this business, I had no experience whatsoever in running a digital business. I had no experience. But with this, I have been able to, within just a little over a year, I've been able to grow the business to the point where it's making 5 figures a month, right? And we're trusting God for a 6-figure month this same year. And that's because we see the potential. And you're in the business community, you see people that make 6 figures in 1 month, just from a business opportunity, an entire, plug and play. I call it a plug and play system, because all you need to know how to do is to follow instructions, because most of it is video based. So they literally like tell you, go here, click here, take this link, go here, and all of that. So if you can follow instructions, you can do it. If you can follow instructions, you have a cell phone, you have a laptop, you have internet connection, and you can do it from anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, you can do it. I have business partners in Cameroon. I have a business partner that set up his business from Nigeria, Mauritania, and Cuba. I even have a business partner in Cuba. So the business is a global business. You can run it from anywhere, and the business model is absolute genius. You don't have to run after people. No, like your customers and your buyers, they come to you. Right before Jael and I came on live, I got a buyer, and I was even telling her about it. Just right before we came on live, I got a buyer. And that's how, like, I have some days I have the busiest of days that I don't even get a chance to like check my ads or check my business. And before I see it, boom, congratulations, you have a buyer. Who doesn't want to do business like that? So I mean, it's an amazing opportunity. Again, like if you think just 1% of your brain thinks that this could be it for you, definitely check Jael out, www.jaeldigital.com. She's an amazing business mentor. All you need to do is put in your name, put in your email, hit submit, and then it's going to reroute you to the page where you get a chance to watch a webinar. It's just 90 minutes long. After watching the webinar, if you still feel like it's for you, you get a chance to pre-register. And the pre-registration it's just a simple form you fill out, and then boom, you're in. And you get all of the information on how the business works on the entire package. You have up to 30 days to decide if it's for you. And if you go through the information and you decide, oh, this is not what I thought it was, then you get back your full refund. So there's actually absolutely zero risk, in pre-registering and getting the information for yourself to make that determination on whether or not it's what you think it is, or what you think is going to work for you. And then you get the support of a business mentor. Jael is going to be your business mentor. I will be your business coach. So, and will help guide you through that journey. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for showing your ad.
You're welcome.
At this business. It is a journey so far, and it's been really good. So thank you so much, and thank you everyone for listening, and thank you for coming from your busy schedule. And I
That's
hope
right.
the information would be valuable to everyone on my page.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
All
Anything?
right. Thank you, JL. It was such an honor to be here. And yes, guys, do not delay. Do not procrastinate. What do they say? Procrastination is a major thief of time. Do not delay. Just go on www.jldigital.com and just get your process started on there. If you have any questions, you can also DM JL, and she will definitely help you. She's amazing. She's an amazing business mentor. All right, guys.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Have a
Bye.